Today, we are analyzing a World Cup Group F preview covering the Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia, written from the satirical perspective of the Armchair Galáctico. And jumping right into the feedback, the distinct satirical persona established in the opening and closing remarks is surprisingly absent from the core tactical analysis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the reader is promised this self-deprecating, couch-bound pundit with incredibly dry humor, right?
Right.
But the actual team breakdowns read like a completely standard, straight-laced sports broadcast.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring.
It really is. The author just drops the gimmick right when the heavy lifting begins.
Well, I do have a hard time visualizing how to fix that without ruining the piece, though.
Wait, how so?
Like, if you're providing genuinely accurate, high-level tactical insight, like summarizing Moriyasu's relentless high press for Japan,
Yeah, for sure.
doesn't injecting jokes about the guy's living room just, ruin the credibility of the football knowledge?
I see what you mean.
It just feels like trying to wear a clown nose to a thesis defense, honestly.
Well, no, I mean, it only ruins the credibility if the jokes replace the tactics entirely.
Okay.
But here, the solution is to filter those serious tactical facts through the physical reality of the narrator.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you weave the lazy armchair persona directly into the serious analysis. So take the sections detailing the devastating injuries to Xavi Simons and Kaoru Mitoma.
Right, like the actual medical realities of an ACL or a hamstring issue?
Exactly. Instead of just listing those out dryly, describe the Galactico dramatically spilling his snacks, or, dropping the TV remote into the sofa cushions in absolute horror as he updates his depth chart.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is actually a great visual.
Right? You keep the high-level insight, but you ground it in this hyper-specific, relatable environment.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The physical humor actually validates his tactical obsession.
Exactly.
But, if we are demanding hyper-specific character details to ground the piece, we also need to demand hyper-specific tactical logic. Moving to our next point, the fatal flaws presented for the teams occasionally contradict the established strengths rather than exploring genuine vulnerabilities.
Oh, definitely. And the Sweden analysis is probably the most glaring instance of this mechanical issue.
Yeah, the part with Isak and Gyokeres.
Right. The text builds up Alexander Isak and Viktor Gyokeres as this, unstoppable nightmare for defenders.
Right, a total powerhouse.
But then the fatal flaw presented is simply the possibility of them being marked out of the game.
Which is, yeah, a pretty generic contradiction.
Completely generic. I mean, any striker can have a bad day or face double coverage,
For sure.
It just doesn't tell us anything insightful about how this particular Group F dynamic might actually expose Sweden.
I mean, it's kind of like reviewing a highly secure bank vault and concluding the fatal flaw is, well, what if someone steals the key?
Yeah, that's a perfect analogy.
It completely ignores the actual structural mechanisms of the vault. I mean, the author does a really great job characterizing Virgil van Dijk as an immovable object for the Netherlands, right?
Very true.
Be the sheer impossibility of breaking through Ronald Koeman's defensive line in that defining matchup?
See, that is a much stronger angle, but we can take it even deeper into the tactical weeds to really match that Galactico obsession.
Okay, how would we do that?
Anchor the fatal flaw in a structural mismatch unique to this group's midfield.
Like focusing on Lucas Bergvall?
Yes, exactly. Focus on the immense pressure placed on the 21-year-old.
Right.
He has to feed those star strikers while simultaneously surviving Japan's relentless Wataru Endo-led high press.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is incredibly specific.
Right, because when you frame the flaw around Bergvall potentially getting suffocated by Endo, you're explaining the underlying mechanics of why the strikers might starve.
Makes sense.
You're not just guessing that they might get marked out by some random defender.
Yeah, you're illustrating the underlying causality of the game itself.
Exactly.
And, well, once a writer establishes that deep, opinionated causality, they really have to carry that swagger all the way to the finish line. So, looking at the ending, the concluding hot take section reiterates established narratives instead of delivering the promised controversial edge.
Yeah, totally. A hot take has to carry some kind of reputational risk for the author.
Right.
Claiming that the group is unpredictable or, that Japan will cause problems, that just merely summarizes the preceding paragraphs.
It's just too safe.
Way too safe. It fails to give the reader that over-the-top, supremely confident punch they expect from a guy literally calling himself an Armchair Galáctico.
But looking at the provided notes, the predicted standings table places the Netherlands first and Sweden second.
Yeah, which is highly logical.
Exactly. So does a good piece of sports satire actually require blowing up a perfectly sensible bracket with some massive couch-declared wildcard outcome?
I see what you mean.
Because I feel like an absurd prediction might undo all the tactical credibility we just spent the whole piece building up.
Well, the credibility comes from the extreme specificity of the prediction, not just its safety.
Right, okay.
You don't have to scramble the final standings, but you must escalate the individual hot takes into highly polarizing concrete claims.
Like putting the Galactico's reputation on the line.
Exactly. Instead of just saying Japan will be a tough opponent, definitively assert that Japan will hold the Netherlands to a scoreless draw in the tournament opener.
Oh, nice.
Or, claim that Gyokeres will score twice as many goals as Cody Gakpo in the group stage. You just have to give the reader a bold flag planted firmly in the ground.
Got it. So just to recap our main points, to truly maximize this critique, the author should bring the satirical couch persona directly into the tactical weeds.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they need to anchor the fatal flaws in specific structural mismatches rather than generic hypotheticals, and escalate the closing hot takes into genuinely bold predictions.
For sure.
Like adding those physical reactions to the Simons and Matoma injury reports, rewriting Sweden's fatal flaw to spotlight the Bergvall versus Endo midfield battle, and making those final predictions controversially specific.
Well, the couch has spoken.
Indeed it has.
We invite you to implement these revisions and submit the piece back to us. We are really eager to see how this evolves.
Definitely. And we might just use your bracket machine .app code Z9U8XX to build our own tournament brackets. Thanks for sending this in.